And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that there are only 4 NASCAR drivers ever with over 300 Cup starts that have a lower crash percentages than Landon Castle? Those drivers are Dale Earnhardt with .152, Terry Labonte with .143, Daryl Waltrip with .136, and Bill Elliott with 1.31. Landon Castle's is 1.57. So anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, a.k.a. Mike Bob Fan 101, with my good friend and co-host, Christian, a.k.a. Savage NASCAR.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Wow, that's a great fact. I mean, we need to do more of those statistics. I mean, I love statistics. That was really cool. I did not know that. That's pretty crazy. I didn't think that those guys would be in the top 5, so.
Yeah, for sure, especially Earnhardt. The other guys I'm not as surprised about, but Earnhardt I'm a little bit surprised about. I got that fact from one of my NASCAR group chats that I'm in. So if you guys have a fact similar to that one, leave it down below in the comments. We would love to read it, and maybe it will get featured on an episode. But anyways, let's get down to talking about the weekend over at Dover. Starting out with the Xfinity race. What did you think of it?
I did not watch it, but I saw the highlights, and Josh Berry got the win. Junior Motorsports, they had at least 4. I think they had 4 cars in the top 6. So that was really impressive. Running for the Chevys, they were very dominant in this race. Josh Berry gets his first win of the season for in the number 8 car. As I said, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I can't give a good rating on it. But I thought it was pretty solid from what I've seen. The passing was really good. I heard that the Xfinity race was definitely one of the best they've had at the track in the last couple of years. What about you?
I thought it was a really good race, actually. The passing was much better than it had been in recent years. I'm not sure if it's because there was nothing on the track or just the way the cars were built, but the racing was much better than Dover has been over the past couple of years. Justin Allgaier, my pick for the race. I thought he was going to win. He had a very strong and fast car, but unfortunately it fell off later in the race, and Berry got the win. Congratulations to Berry, but sucks for Allgaier that he got screwed over 2 weeks in a row. He fell off mainly because he had a bad stop, which put him, I think, 3 spots. He came in like first, and then he went down to like 3rd or 4th. And I thought he could make it up, but he just couldn't make it up. So overall, the race was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Not really too much to say, but just I enjoyed it.
Berry, he led 55 laps, if I'm correct. And I know my pick, AJ, finished 6th.
Yeah.
But Sam Mayer, very impressive. I mean, considering last year how many times he wrecked and just DNF'd, he's had a really impressive season.
Right. Yeah, Sam Mayer, he really did impress me because he came onto pit road and he lost his tire after winning stage 1, which ironically was similar to Denny Hamlin, even though he didn't lose the full wheel. He just had one of the lug nuts not tightened enough. But he came back. He rallied to top 10, I believe. I thought he could have won the race, but just stuff like that happened. So impressive by Sam Mayer to come back to the front. So now let's take a look at what you guys had to say. 3 of you said great, and 3 of you said good, so 50-50. Henry24257 says, okay racing, at least Dover flew by. 6 out of 10. He's been hating on Dover a lot. No driver of the day. I'm going to give it to definitely one of the JRM guys. Probably not Allgaier. So it's between Berry and Mayer. I'm going to give it to Mayer because he came back from that mishap and he ended up getting a top 10 out of it. So Mayer is my pick.
I got to say Mayer as well. But definitely runner-up for it would be Justin Allgaier. He led 67 of the 200 laps.
Yeah, but again, that bad pit stop, and then he just couldn't come back. Just whatever. All right, now let's talk about the Cup race. What did you think?
I think this race definitely saved Dover from being off the schedule in the future. because there was a lot of rumors that Dover was not going to be on the schedule next season. And honestly, I thought it was that those rumors were false from the get-go, because they just renamed the track and they have new ownership, from what I know. So their Dover Motor Speedway used to be Dover International. That was why I thought that it would stay on the schedule. But everyone's like, no, it needs to be on schedule. Yes, some of the racing the last couple of years have been pretty bad at the track, but this race made up for it, I feel like. I got to watch almost the entire thing since it got moved to Monday. I know a lot of people were like, oh, man, I can't watch it because it's Monday. And, of course, people are at work or at school. But my pick, Chase Elliott got the win, first win of the season. So every Hendrick car has won. So the Hendrick Motorsports yet again showing their dominance over the last 2 seasons, now 3 seasons. Ross Chastain, he, as again, I've worn his T-shirt for this episode. He got third. He led a lot of laps. He led 86 of them. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., very cool run for him, with second. Man, there was a lot more wrecks I thought there was going to be, Mike. There was 12 of them, 12 cautions, just a lot of wrecking. I know your boy Logano got wrecked too.
Yeah, thanks, Eric Jones, with this stupid move. Here it is, right here. So,
Salty?
I hate to be biased. Yes, I am very salty.
Oh, whoa. He had a lot of help. Lane change on the 43 caused that.
Salty about this because Logano. Here's the thing: Logano was not having a good car. I will fully admit that it was suckish. But he's not the best at Dover, so I wasn't really too shocked. Besides the Xfinity series, of course, but the car was not great. And then Eric Jones just has to go and ruin our race by coming up the track, thinking he's clear, and just changing lanes like the Asian lady that got Hamlin in sensitivity training.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
So thanks, Eric Jones, for that. I know you followed the onboards account, but screw you for that move, man. Anyways, the race in general was actually pretty good. I wouldn't say it was one of the best races all season, but it was a really, really good race, and it did save Dover for sure. The track looked very fast, not too slick. The cars were pretty close, especially mid-pack. I know a lot of people were still complaining about it, which is debatable, because I understand why you would originally complain about Dover, but this race made up for a lot of the racing at Dover. We saw Denny Hamlin. He had the fastest car, but unfortunately he could not get it done. Well, unfortunately, fortunately, depending on how you look at it. He had a tire issue, like I mentioned earlier.
There's a penalty. Not sure whose. But that's a getaway. Never a good sign when you look over and a tire's passing you on pit road.
Well, that was a tire that was intended on going on, and there you see the 11 car. Knew it was a brand new tire that had a sticker on it.
Jack Van. Well, I can promise you this. I was going to dial him up for a stage win. I am not dialing him up now. Never a good sign when your tire passes you. Too bad. Costly mistake.
And then he got in a wreck with Cody Ware.
Hang on, caution's out, caution's out.
Denny Hamlin and Cody Ware. Man, day went from bad to worse for Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin was the 4th place car. Cody Ware 3 laps down.
Get it rolling right there. It ripped
and Cody Ware spun coming off turn number 4 and just collected Hamlin. Look at the damage to the right side on the 11th.
Oh, 51 loses it, overcorrected, got in a wall right in front of the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
Oh, well, that's at 9 degrees of banking. You knew that 51 car is going to go from the top to the bottom.
Just barely clipped Denny in the rear.
Because he just had nowhere to go. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. definitely was very impressive, finishing second. I was honestly shocked with that. Usually he just does well on plate tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chase Elliott getting the win. not too surprised. He did pretty well at Dover over the past couple seasons, so it's a pretty solid win. One big topic that I think you missed, speaking of Ross Chastain on your shirt there, Ross Chastain had a little bit of an issue with Martin Truex Jr. right at the end. Yeah, issue. Here is that.
Another top 5 finish, but the final lap, he's going at it with Martin Truex Jr. Truex gets spun around here. What do you see, Jamie?
Weirdest wreck ever. It's the last lap coming off of turn 2. It looked like Martin maybe had a little bit of a run on Ross. Ross slid up in front of him, said he should have given him a lane. Martin's obviously mad because he wrecks and doesn't get the finish he wanted, but I think Ross has a reputation of racing really hard, and so these are different. This is kind of the situation you get put in when you race that way. I feel like if this is Kyle Larson.
So my take on it is that it's just racing. I didn't really see what Ross did wrong. A lot of people were saying like he blocked, which he did a little bit, but it wasn't horribly blocking like at super speedways like we have seen with Logano. But he just was trying to get the air, I guess, so he could pull away from Truex, and it ended up just sucking Truex around, which that happens in racing. He didn't get that much damage from the car because the bodies are tough and he didn't really hit the wall, and he still ended up finishing 12th, which is not great, but still pretty good. So I don't really know why he was that mad, but it's Martin Truex. He's got to complain about almost everything.
Wah, wah. I just rested back someone and I just somehow lost control of the car and hit the inside wall. But anyways, yeah, Truex Jr., man, I mean, I've not been a Truex fan since he went to JGR, and one of the examples is what happened on Monday. I mean, he complaining about getting raced hard, and he's done it before. That's ridiculous to say something like, he said this a couple years ago. He said, well, he raced me too hard. Like, right. That's ridiculous. It's racing. You're going to get raced hard. Like, imagine if he said something like that back in the 90s and 80s. That's just an outrageous statement. But, yeah, like, Truex Jr. just took the L there. Right. I'm not going to lie. But he still got 12th, so, I mean, it's better than nothing. But Justin Haley finished above you, so that's pretty weak, Truex. But I will say, Eric Jones, don't be hating on my boy Eric, Mike. I mean, it was a racing deal. It was just a short track racing. You know what I'm saying? He kind of moved up a little bit, but then again, Eric Jones, do not unfollow us on the Onboards account, please, despite what Mike said. But anyways, I will say Chase Briscoe, he worked his way to a 13th place finish. I was going to say Daniel Suarez was impressive too, despite him finishing 14th. He spun out. He started 8th, but he fell back. He spun out.
They were racing for 12th place. LaJoie and Suarez.
Well, LaJoie, it all started off of 2. LaJoie was side by side. I couldn't really see who he was there door to door off of 2, and it gave Suarez that big run getting off in.
He came back up towards the front. Kevin Harvick worked his way up there too. Chris Buescher is the pollster, finished 8th. I don't really have much else to say. I know Bowman had one of the fastest cars there to the end. He was flying. He was in 5th, but he just ran out of time. But I feel like if the race was 500 laps, then he could have got Chase. But yeah, it was a very, very good race.
Right, and don't forget about Kyle Larson. He spun out earlier because his tire.
Sliding through the corner. Is the right rear down? I don't think so. I think he just got loose and lost it. I think the tires blew as he was sliding with the wheels locked up. Great save. You don't see that very often at this racetrack, the self-cleaning with the banking on the corners.
And he came back. I think he also finished around the top 10 as well. He was my pick to win the race, so kind of a shame, but it's very cool to see the talent that Kyle Larson has from getting spun around because of, right rear going down and then rallying back all the way to 6th or 7th. So definitely a great job by Larson. Now let's take a look at what you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he got 6. That's all I was going to say.
All right. Now let's take a look at what you guys had to say. 33% of you said great, and 67% of you said good. None of you said the other options. Henry24257 says, didn't see it, but it sounded good. 5 out of 10. And then for the Truex and Chastain issue, 33% of you are on Truex's side, and 67% of you are on Chastain's side. Good. Driver of the day, Blaney. I completely disagree with that. I got to give it to Kyle Larson.
Blaney, who finished 26th as driver of the day. I don't know about that, but I will say that my driver of the day, there's two options. Kyle Busch, he did lead 102 laps. He led the most laps, but Ross Chastain led 86, and I'm trying not to be biased, but he's definitely up there. Chase Elliott, then again, Alex Bowman, but I'm gonna have to go with Chase. I know he won, but he didn't lead the most laps. He did lose 73. He didn't lead most laps, but just the way he was able to just drive away from the field there at the end, he just blasted by everybody and just he started lapping a bunch of people too. So,
another driver that was very impressive was Chris Buescher. He's not a guy known to really have a lot of speed on like mile and a half tracks, but he did really good. Started on the pole and managed to stay in the top 10 for pretty much all day. So he did really good. Bubba Wallace did pretty solid as well. There were points where he was in 20th, and then there were points where he was in 11th. Then there's points top 10. So he did decent, but I'm not going to give him as much credit as like Buescher and Larson.
Yeah. So now I guess we could talk about meme of the week. We got a lot of options to go through, Mike.
Oh, yes.
So what was some of your favorite memes?
I'm looking through the ones I sent. Oh, there was one by NASCAR Memes IG up here. This one was pretty funny with just the tire and Denny Hamlin going their separate ways. Obviously, context earlier. And, obviously, I'm a known Denny Hamlin hater, so let's see. I like this one as well. Same guy, top 5 at Dover Motor Speedway. For context, nobody really expects Stenhouse to do anything. Oh, this one may make me seem biased, but it was really funny. Obviously, Denny Hamlin's having a terrible season, or terrible. I mean, I don't know what to say about his season.
I gotta say that one for me, with Denny Hamlin having a bad season, or the Joe Gibbs one, basically trying to decide which JGR driver to get rid of to put Ty in a Cup car.
Yeah,
that was really good too.
That was a really good one. I forgot about that one for a second.
But yeah, that's what are we going to decide on with meme of the week, I guess?
I think my vote, it's between the two from NASCAR Memes IG, between the one with the separate ways thing and the top 5. I think I'm going to go with and be a little biased and say the separate ways meme.
Yeah, I want to say the separate ways one too, because, I don't like Denny Hamlin, but then again, it's just, the way the tire went off I found it quite funny. But then again, we interviewed Stamp, Dank NASCAR Memes. He was talking about how Denny Hamlin was doing so well in the race on Sunday, and he was excited to see how well he would do Monday. Well, that backfired for him, and I'm sure, he was pretty upset with what happened with Denny Hamlin. But yeah, I want to say just thank y'all so much for your support on our interview with Dank NASCAR Memes. We got a lot of support with that. It's one of our most liked videos on our channel. I just want to say thank y'all so much. And if you haven't watched that, go check it out.
Yeah, sorry for the sound there. I'm trying to pull up the views. It has 58 views right now and 18 likes. I know that may seem like, oh, that's nothing. But to us, since, we're small creators, that means the world that people actually want to watch our stuff. So thank you for watching. If you're a newer viewer, subscribe. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers. We're 13 away, I believe, 87. Yep. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you want some NASCAR insight, or as I like to say on some of the comments, for all your NASCAR insight needs.
Definitely.
All right. So you want to get into the top 10?
Yep, we got top 10 this week, and this one is, of course, Darlington's this upcoming week. So I was like, why not do a top 10 spring Darlington moments? So starting off at number 10, we got Jamie McMurray and Todd Bodine's crazy finish in the Busch Series 2003. Here's the finish.
they're not going to give either one any quarter.
Boy, Todd really got back to the throttle good in 1 and 2. He pulls him about 4 car lengths down the backstretch, Daryl.
Yeah, McMurray gets into 3 really good. He gets really in there hard. I don't know if he's got enough, though, to catch Todd. Oh, man, he drove her in there hard and slipped to the top.
Todd Bodine racing to find a sponsor for that team, and Jamie McMurray racing for an owner who doesn't care about points, just about winning.
And he has a pretty good cushion behind him, so he can kind of feel Todd out right here. He can overdrive his race car, and he can get by with it.
Todd can get off that corner just a little bit better than McMurray can, but McMurray's going to be tough down here in 3 and 4 now.
That's where he's been tough all day, getting off into turn 3.
He's going to close the gap, but I think it's going to be too little too late. He's there, but he can't make the pass.
Try on the outside. Off the high side, just like yesterday. Here they come at the track.
Wow! And it's McMurray. No, it's not. It's Bodine.
Bodine. Jamie slides across the finish second.
Man, 2 days in a row. 2 fabulous finishes. Oh, my gosh.
Scott Riggs finishes 3rd. Stacy Compton does finish 4th. And Jay Sauter in the 21 finishes 5th.
Man, how many finishes? Let's race here again tomorrow. What do you say?
How about that? Jamie McMurray drove into the Bodine Triangle, and they both spun off turn 4, and Todd gets his 15th career win.
This race actually took place in 2003 to 2003 Darlington Raceway.com 200, which what a title. But yeah, it was a pretty solid race. Todd Bodine led 71 of 147 laps at the end. Jay McMurray and him got into a very great battle, and the two got together off turn 4, and they crashed across the line. Definitely one of the craziest moments at Darlington, in my opinion.
Coming in at number 9 is Jeff Burton's Rain Dance in 1999. Here it is.
Meanwhile, we understand there is raindrops being felt on the backstretch. Here is Jeff Burton coming up on the 9 car of Jerry Nadeau.
I see Steve Park, and there we see some rain in the puddles. The wind is blowing, and the fans had trouble here. Trouble! A big wreck.
Kenny Irwin is involved. Jerry Nadeau is running right ahead of Jeff Burton is involved, and Jeff, I believe, is also, is he not? It looks like, I think the front of his car is all messed up.
The 99 car, the right front tire is going the wrong way. He's made contact with someone.
Yes, he has.
But the caution flag is out. Will he run 45 miles per hour? Because there is some rain.
And still some activity here on the front stretch. Ernie Irvin becomes involved.
I think he is fun coming off turn 4. And there we see Jeff Burton with that right front wheel towed out 3 or 4 inches. Bill Weber.
It is towed out. They're telling him, stay on the racetrack, stay on the racetrack. The reports say this rain is here to stay. Jeff Burton very, very upset and frustrated, but did take the caution. They continue to talk to him, but the car...
And the rain continues to fall. Bill is with Buddy Parrott.
And he's with Jack Roush. They've run down, Frank Stoddard has run down to his car. Buddy, obviously, this is you timed it out almost perfectly. How badly is that car torn up?
That car is tore up, man. It's got the right front knocked off of it, and he's already broke the interliner. I mean, the interliner's gone down on the tire. So, the good Lord willing, we're going to win this race. If he, that's just all I can say. And it looks like it's coming down. Doesn't it feel good?
Well, they had to keep that car running until NASCAR put out the red flag. Jeff Burton obviously thrilled with the situation that the race has been stopped. Not very happy with the incident that brought out the caution. And they were doing rain dances down here. They had excellent strategy. I got to tell you, they were calling out his lap time. He gets a hut from his crew chief, Frank Stoddard. They went ahead and decided to make, well, the car is overheating, and it was actually overheating earlier before they pitted, and that problem went away. That was one reason Jeff could not run in traffic. But they really used some excellent strategy, as did some other teams here on pit road, and then they got a huge break from the weather. They almost got a terrible break with that wreck.
So on lap 163 of the 1999 Trans-South Financial 400, Jeff Burton was involved in a 7-car incident bringing out the caution. He kept his crumpled Ford rolling as rain started to fall, and he captured the win. I do remember hearing about this, and I believe I saw it. That is one of the most impressive NASCAR wins, besides the fact that it was rain, but just the fact that he's able to keep the car after it got that wrecked, pretty impressive.
Yeah, Jeff Burton, I mean, he came close to winning at Darlington 2 years before that in 1997 Southern 500. And he was having a solid race. And then, of course, lap cars had to happen. But, yeah, he got caught up in a wreck while in the lead, but he kept it going. And then, there you go. Just the rain happens, and he got the win. Just very crazy. But speaking of crazy, at number 8, we got Daryl Waltrip blasting Jeff Bodine in this interview. Here's the clip.
Our second caution of the day.
Well, Daryl Waltrip has climbed out of what's left of the Western Auto Chevrolet and DW. You had a pretty good run going. What happened up there?
I'd like to tell you what really happened up there, but I'm trying not to. But there was a little turd driving number 15 that run over me. What happened?
Can you get it fixed, DW?
No. That knocked us out. I moved out of the way for everybody. I moved up for him. I guess it wasn't enough.
Obviously upset. Daryl Waltrip hoping to get a good run here at Darlington.
So this took place in the 1992 Trans-South 500. Daryl Waltrip was heated after getting taken out by Jeff Bodine on lap 174. Basically, Jeff Bodine, he had been being a nuisance to some of the drivers on the lead lap in this race. I watched this a couple months ago, and he was getting in the lead lap car's way. He was just blocking. He's trying his best to get back on the lead lap, but he was just blocking all the leaders, and he just wasn't giving people room. He got into Rusty Wallace earlier on in the race, and Brett Bodine, ironically his brother, they got to Rusty Wallace earlier and spun him out, and then he just takes out Daryl Waltrip, who was having a top 10, and Daryl Waltrip is already struggling to start off the year, so he was pretty upset. As you could see in the interview, he was not too happy, and I don't blame him, though. But I just find it very funny, and that's why I had to put it on this list. It's definitely very iconic. And Bill Elliott captured his 4th straight win in this race, and it came down to the fuel mileage.
Coming in at number 7 is Dale Sr. winning after Bill Elliott runs out of gas. Here it is.
I think it's exactly what he's doing, Larry. I think the car may even be coughing a little bit, burping possibly, sputtering as he comes out of the corners. Elliott is off of it. He's out of it. Now does Earnhardt have enough time to catch him? It's likely that he does. Elliott is practically coasting through 3 and 4. Here comes Dale Earnhardt, definitely at a much higher speed. Dale Earnhardt goes around the out-of-fuel Bill Elliott, and Dale Earnhardt is going to win the Trans-South 500, his second win of 1987.
So Dale Earnhardt dominated, leading 239 of 367 laps, but Bill Elliott had the lead as the last 69 laps were being run under green. It came down to fuel strategy, and Bill ran out of gas on the final lap, giving the win to Dale. It was his 3rd win of the season, and he would sweep the races at the track that year.
That was quite a crazy finish. But even more insane, at number 6, we got Johnny Allen flying over the wall and into a grandstand in 1960. Here's the clip. Yeah, we've talked about this one on the show before, but this one's definitely one for the books. Johnny Allen, he had quite an interesting career. His only win in the Cup Series was at Bowman Gray, which then, in fact, he also wrecked coming across the line. It just seems like with him and Rex, he was known for that. But yeah, just a scary moment. Thankfully, no one was injured as the part of the grandstand about fell down too. Very scary, but definitely one that deserves to be on this list. It was in the Rebel 300. Back then, they raced 300 miles for the spring race, not 500.
Coming in at number 5 is Daryl Waltrip passing the King on the final lap for the win. Here it is.
Daryl Waltrip cuts down to the inside. Richard Petty right on his back bumper. Donnie Allison running 3rd. A slower car caught in the midst of all of them. Now he gets out of the way. as Daryl Waltrip stretches his lead over Richard Petty going into turn 2.
He got a good jump on that green flag. Richard Petty now trying to make up ground, chopped it down to about 2 car lengths. Now 1 car length down the back chute. Donnie Allison, taking advantage of that caution, was able to get back in the hunt. He about 8 car lengths behind second place. Petty ducks low to make a move over now going into turn 4.
Richard Petty down on the inside of Daryl Waltrip coming to the near side. They make contact and Richard Petty goes around Daryl Waltrip and is leading. Coming across the start-finish line with 4 laps to go. Richard Petty and Daryl Waltrip got together in turn 4. Richard leads him by car lengths going into turn 2.
Richard with a clear track in front of him now. No lap traffic to be concerned with, so he can go flat out. He's flat-footing it right up against the wall down the back chute. The Daryl Waltrip machine in hot pursuit, glued right on that back bumper. He's painted a bullseye there. Waltrip tries to go high over in turn 4.
Richard Petty holding Waltrip off, coming down the front chute. When he comes by, it'll be 3 laps to go. Daryl Waltrip down on the inside. They're side by side. They'll go into turn 1 side by side, and Daryl Waltrip is going to take the lead in turn 1.
Slam bang action over in that turn number 1. Waltrip took the lead. Here comes Petty right back. Petty down on the inside, dives off that 25-degree banking of turn 2. He pulls up along the quarter panel, now up alongside the door. They're headed into turn 3. Richard Petty fronts Waltrip. Now Waltrip comes back down low on the inside as they dive into turn 4.
Daryl Waltrip takes Richard Petty back coming out of turn 4. Daryl Waltrip, your leader. Richard Petty right up side by side. They make contact coming down the front chute. Donnie Allison makes it 3 abreast going into turn 1.
What racing we're seeing here in Darlington at the CRC Chemicals Rebel 500. It's Daryl Waltrip down on the inside, Richard Petty on the outside. Petty with an advantage. Petty fronts him coming off of turn 2. Daryl Waltrip second. In third spot, it's Donnie Allison. They're in that third turn now, and in front, Richard Petty. And here comes fighting back Daryl Waltrip.
Daryl Waltrip right up on Petty's back bumper. Waltrip coming down to the inside. Richard Petty closes the door. They come down the front chute. Richard Petty leads them to the start-finish line. The white flag is out. Waltrip up beside Petty. They go into turn 1. They're side by side. This is the last lap of the race. Daryl Waltrip is leading. Richard Petty dives down to the inside.
Waltrip fronted him. Petty's back. We got the Buddy Arrington car that may be a factor down the back straightaway. Here's Petty now with a fender up alongside, trying to get inside of Waltrip. Waltrip's going to try to take it deep into 4. Now Waltrip has to go high. Now he comes low and around Petty in turn 4.
Daryl Waltrip goes under Richard Petty in turn 4. Daryl Waltrip can lead Donnie Allison and Richard Petty are side by side coming to the start-finish line. We're going to have a photo finish for second. Daryl Waltrip is your winner.
So Daryl Waltrip prevailed in a great battle with Richard Petty to win the Rebel 500 in 1979. The 2 drivers swapped the lead 4 times on the final lap. It was Daryl's first win at the track, and it was David Pearson's last race with Wood Brothers. I believe I did see this. I'm pretty sure we talked about it. That was definitely a great moment.
Yeah, it was. We did talk about it last year on the show when we were doing the top 10 Darlington moments first, including the spring and the fall. But yeah, it was just a crazy finish. I mean, Daryl Waltrip and Richard Petty had a classic duel, and it came down to the win. But David Pearson, what happened was one of the reasons why it was his last race was Wood Brothers. There was a pit road incident that happened. He lost his tire, and I don't remember everything that went down, but I know he was like really mad at the team, and there's just a huge disagreement, and it ended up being his last race in the number 21 for Wood Brothers.
Interesting.
For those who didn't know that, there you go. All right, moving on to number 4, we got Jimmy Johnson giving Hendrick their 200th career NASCAR win. Here's the clip.
Kyle Busch settles in front of Truex. White flag, 1 to go.
Got enough gas to make it? Oh, yeah, we're in good shape on gas.
He'll make it around, but will he get there first?
Oh, yeah, he's got a nice, he's got a comfortable lead. He's in good shape.
Jimmy Johnson sails off into turn 3. Hamlin is going to have to deal with Stewart for second. Hendrick Motorsports 200th Sprint Cup victory belongs to Jimmy Johnson in the Southern 500.
There you go, Mr. Rick. Got you one.
So this one's very iconic and definitely one of my favorite Darlington moments. I remember watching this race. Jimmy Johnson held off Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart, and Kyle Busch in a green-white checkered finish to win the 2012 Southern 500. it was Hendrick's 200th win, and it was a very wild race. There's a lot of things that happened, including Kurt Busch versus Ryan Newman. Jimmy Johnson led 134 of the 368 laps.
And coming in at number 3 is Richard Petty's 1970 flip at Darlington. Here it is.
Going to crash on the home stretch. A car upside down.
And that's
a
Richard
blue
Petty.
car. It is Richard Petty.
I jumped off the score stand and started running as fast as I could.
I was working in the booth with Jim McKay for ABC. The position that he was in, it looked like blood coming out. It was a...
So basically, he flipped, obviously, and for a quick fun fact before I get into the rest of the story, when we first talked about this on the show, I actually ended up seeming really stupid because I said something that I had listened to on a video about it that was people thought the rags coming out was, first off, his blood, and second of all, that he was hanging his shoulders out like this to signal that he was okay, when in reality he had broken shoulders, even though I had heard it somewhere on a video, and Christian still makes fun of me for that.
It's okay. It happens.
But basically, the flip happened because his steering broke, and obviously we know what happens when your steering breaks. He flipped over, very violent flip. He broke his shoulder, I believe. Just one of the most iconic crashes in NASCAR, and it's what introduced the window net.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he hit the wall. He got loose. I think he had a steering issue, but yeah, he just slammed into the wall, broke the wall. I remember the first time I saw it, I was just horrified the first time I saw that on YouTube when I was younger. But yeah, Richard Petty, the stuff that was on the ground, it looked like blood. It was actually rags. And his arm was just out the window. I'm just surprised that it wasn't worse. That could have been fatal, but thankfully it wasn't. And it's definitely his worst crash of his career. He survived. He did have a couple injuries, like we mentioned. But yeah, we've talked about this multiple times on the show, but it's just one of those things where it's one of the most famous moments in NASCAR history. And we're going to talk about some of these things over and over again.
Right.
All right. Now at number 2, this one is one that y'all probably have seen a lot. The 2011 Southern 500, Regan Smith gets his first and only Cup win, and Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick have their incident. Here's the video.
Regan Smith 1 lap away. Paul Menard blowing up in the back of the pack. White flag.
Can he do it? Can he hold him off? No matter what, we've got a race now. They'll race it back if we don't get a caution.
Boy, Regan got off to the turn 2.
Oh, he hits the wall.
He's all right. He's okay. He got off there great.
But Edwards didn't jump inside.
They're all wrecking behind him, but it's okay. Can he hold him off? One more corner.
Here we come to the flag. Regan Smith looking for his first Sprint Cup win. Edwards, 2 car lengths back. Smith gets the flag, and this time he'll get to keep it.
How about that?
I love you guys, man. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome. Yes.
What a call.
You're the man, buddy. Nice job today. Nice job today, buddy. Thank you very much. Wow. Nice job.
A single car team racing out of Denver, Colorado.
So Regan Smith captured his only Cup win in this race, holding off Carl Edwards in a green-white checkered finish. Before then, Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, and Kyle Busch were battling 3 wide off turn 4 with a couple laps to go. They got together. Clint Bowyer hit the inside wall, and Kyle Busch just stomped Kevin Harvick out.
4 to go this time.
4 to go and 3
Oh, Bowyer in the wall.
Hard wreck.
He stays out.
More wrecks down here. Turn 4. Big wreck.
Harvick in trouble.
Keep going. We can do the damn thing.
Well, you can see already the left front of Harvick's tire where they made contact. The whole left side. And here comes Kevin back. Whoa. Gives the 18 a big shot in the rear. And here comes Bowyer down on the bottom, and they get 3 wide right here, and this is when I knew it was going to go bad.
We've got cars overheated. We've got drivers overheated.
And we got wrecked cars. And
Bobby Labonte crashed on the final lap. Harvick looking in his mirror. Shuts the switches off.
Something's going to have to give here, boys.
We thought it could be Newman and Montoya. Turns out it's Harvick and Busch. And they are still stopped way up at the turn 4 end of pit road as Regan Smith does his victory lap. And Harvick's going to put the steering wheel back on.
I think Harvick was getting ready to hop out of that thing. I think somebody must have gotten to him. No,
wheels off again. Here he comes.
He says, okay, this is enough. I'm going back here and we're going to have a little talk. And there goes his car. That car just took off.
I remember being pretty upset, but I was like, why did he do that? He didn't mean to do it. But then again, Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch. And then after the race, they had their incident on pit road. And just Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch rivalry was pretty fun to watch.
And coming in at number 1, you all expected this. It's the finish between Ricky Craven, and Kurt Busch. Here it is.
He's going to try to slide under him here. Come on, baby.
And Blaney's coming.
Both these cars are driving terrible right now. Half a lap to go.
Nah, they're driving good. Come on, baby. You can do it on this end of the speedway. Come off the 4 and get up alongside of him.
Half a mile to go.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Who's going to get off?
Here he comes. Here he comes. He's got him this time.
It's going to be a drag race. Wow! They touch. They touch.
Craven got him. Craven got him.
Craven got him.
And Craven.
So we all know this. It was the 2003 race over at Darlington. They were battling for a while, and then they were just doing some classic rubbing his racing, beating and banging. Kurt Busch gets into him. They door each other, and Craven got him right at the last second at the line for one of, if not the closest finish in NASCAR history.
Yeah, it was the closest finish in NASCAR history, tied with Jimmy Johnson and Clint Boyer in 2011. Yeah, that race is really wild. It's mainly known for its finish, but just watching the stuff leading up to that moment, it was a great race in general. If you haven't watched the full race of that, I encourage you to go watch that full race because it was even wild before then too.
All right. So now let's get into our picks for this weekend at Darlington. It is obviously a throwback weekend, which is why you see some drivers having throwback pictures. So for the truck race, I'm going to go ahead and say Ross Chastain. He's in the race this week. Why not? Let's do something a little different.
Yeah, I want to pull for my boy Ross. I want to pick him, and I am pulling for him, but I don't think he's going to win the truck race. I think it's going to be Ben Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes. All right, nice pick. Now for the Xfinity race, I'm going to go ahead and say Chase Elliott. He's splitting time in the number 88 for JRM with William Byron and Kyle Larson. And apparently Alex Bowman is going to get a turn in the car, but we don't know when. He just said that he'll have his turn in the Xfinity. So for this first race, I'm going to go Chase Elliott.
Now, that's a good pick. You go with Cup drivers every race. But I'm not going to say Chase wins. I'm going to say he will be up there, but he's not going to get the win. But the Xfinity race is starting in the early afternoon, and I think it's going to be just in the 80s. It's going to be very hot race. The truck race is at night, I think, on Friday, and I know the Cup race is at 3:30 on Sunday. But regardless of that, Xfinity pick for me is Noah Gragson. I think he gets his second win of the season.
Really good pick. And now for the Cup race. It sort of panned out for me last week, but it also didn't, obviously, because he didn't win. But I'm going to go with him again. I'm going with Kyle Larson.
You stole my pick, Mike. Come on. But yeah, I picked Kyle Larson to win on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. I love Darlington. It's one of the most historic tracks in America. I love this track. It's the Goodyear 400. I know one thing, too, we didn't mention earlier, but they're having some Hall of Famers in the booth on Sunday. Richard Petty's going to be there, stage 1. There's going to be Bobby Labonte in stage 2 and Bill Elliott in stage 3. And Bill Elliott had quite a great career at Darlington, I would say, and also in general. But he ran very good at Darlington in his career. And so did Richard Petty. He's won there a couple times, too. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if they're going to have any, vintage cars or throwback cars that are going to have run pace laps, but that'd be pretty cool to see. But yeah, that's who I have winning.
Yeah, I kind of wish they brought back Daryl Waltrip and Larry McReynolds to go up there with Clint Boyer and Mike Joy in the booth, just for old time's sake, even if it's just for like a stage or a few laps, because that would be a true throwback weekend race. But either way, I'm excited to see Richard Petty, Bill Elliott, and Bobby Labonte up in the booth. I think they'll all bring some good insight. So it should be a pretty good race as normal at Darlington. So that's going to close out the episode.
Now, I'm sorry, Mike, but I have to roast real quick. What is this throwback paint scheme by Denny Hamlin?
Oh, yeah. I saw that one.
It is not a throwback paint scheme. That is not. That's literally like from 5 years ago. Like there's a couple of them that are from like a long time ago, but there's some that were just ridiculous. Like just from 5-6 years ago. That's not a throwback scheme. Y'all can do better than that.
Okay. Next week's episode, we're going to do a review of the paint schemes. Hopefully Cam is there because he loves to roast the paint schemes. He's obviously not here with us today. So he should make it very entertaining next episode when we go through a lot of these throwbacks, because there are some W throwbacks as per usual, but there are a lot of L throwbacks. A lot of companies not really wanting to just change the colors for a little bit, and they want to keep their colors, and it completely screws over the scheme. Another throwback that we should roast is Christopher Bell's, because he's doing pretty similar to what Hamlin's doing and just throwing it back to himself from like 5 years ago.
True, yeah, like exactly. And one other thing in the news, Kyle Busch's souvenir hauler got pulled over for speeding after the Dover race too. I thought that was kind of crazy.
I saw that. But yeah, that is going to close the episode out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow our socials and join the official Nasboys Fantasy League. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
See y'all.
You only calling now, you wanting what I think.